Another class action lawsuit just hit the table, and it's my belief, following how the court stated the undisputed facts in North Carolina against Veterans Guardian, that we will be seeing class actions fly left and right, just like we are today. This is another class action against a company called Just for Veterans for charging unlawful fees. Here it is, and we're going to go through this ourselves. But here's the synopsis, right? If you don't want to watch the whole video, here's the short, so what? Now, this matters to me because if you're an OG fan of the channel, you know that I interviewed Grant Gallagher, who's one of the plaintiffs, on this channel about 3 years ago for a dispute he had against Just for Veterans. And fast forward to today, here we are once again, only this time it's a class action. Now, Just for Veterans, they deny all allegations and have moved into a proposed settlement, probably to avoid continued litigation because, well, it's a losing battle, and I think they know it. Everyone knows it. Now, I'm just a guy in the basement. I'm no attorney, but I can read words. This class action will do two things. One, it'll give a relief to unpaid fees to Just for Veterans, so people who haven't paid them yet, who owe a debt. And two, class members will be able to receive fees if they were already paid to Just for Veterans. So long story short, if this wins for the plaintiffs, Just for Veterans is going to be probably in a lot of trouble. On May 22nd, this class action was filed for approval. If approved, which I believe it will be, then electronic notices will be sent to all with information and instructions as to how they can hop on this class action, just like we saw with Veterans Guardian. Same thing. Now, I'm going to read the motion so we see it for ourselves. If you're not going to stay till the end, thank you very much for making it this far. I appreciate it. If you are going to make it to the very end, I love you a long time. Here we go. Plaintiffs, Grant Gallagher. That's the person I interviewed, right? Just for Veterans. There's a case number if you want to look this up for yourself. Just Google that. It'll pop up. Class cert opinion in order. In their amended complaint, plaintiffs Grant Gallagher and Emily Hybel, apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, allege, this is the key word here, right? We don't convict via public opinion. Allege that defendants Just for Veterans LLC, I need a pen or something. LLC and Frederick Castanos Justo help veterans apply for disability benefits. Although they lack accreditation needed. Oh, I can't. Whatever. I'm not going to do that. Before providing that assistance. They also allege that fees charged by just J4V and Gusto are illegally excessive. Based on those allegations, they claim that Just for Veterans and Gusto violated the Maryland Consumer Protection Act and breached fiduciary duties owed to them. They seek declaratory and equitable relief, including an injunction and a constructive trust, as well as various forms of monetary relief, including damages, disgorgement, and an award of attorney's fees. That's just a punch to the gut there. Gallagher and Hybel seek this relief for themselves and others who are similarly situated. Thus, they ask this court to certify their suit as a class action. In furtherance of that objective, they filed a motion for class certification, which Just for Veterans and Justo opposed. Gallagher and Hybel filed a memorandum in reply to that opposition. The court held a hearing and heard argument on this issue January 22nd, 2025, and took the matter under advisement. As explained below, the court grants the motion for the class certification and determines that the class is comprised of all veterans who have been charged a fee by Just for Veterans in connection with a VA disability claim. The class will be a hybrid class certified under Maryland rule, whatever. Prerequisites. I'm not going to read that. Not going to read that either. Not going to read that. Not going to read that. The typicality requirement is aimed to ensure that plaintiff's interests are squarely aligned. This is just some legalese stuff, Newsburg, whatever. Adequate representation, got it. Court cases, fun stuff. Being a lawyer has got to be the most funnest job in the world. Class actions maintainable. Okay. I think the rest is, here we go. Allows a class to be certified if the party opposing the class has acted or refused to act on grounds generally applicable to the class, thereby making appropriate final injunctive relief or corresponding declaratory relief with respect to the class as a whole. I don't even know what that says. Faced with a request to certify a class under this subsection, a court must determine whether the defendant acted in a way that is generally applicable to the class. The requirement focuses on the single question of whether the defendant maintains a policy that affects a group or person similar to those proposed to constitute the class in the present case. Just for Veterans acted in a manner that affected members of the class. It entered into agreements to help veterans to obtain disability benefits, even though it lacked accreditation from the VA and received fees exceeding what the VA permits for those holding accreditation. Remember, this isn't an opinion. This is a fact. The issue to be litigated is whether Just for Veterans needed that accreditation to provide services it would provide to the class members, and that's already been decided. That's why class actions are going to be flying left and right, I believe. A court must then determine whether the plaintiff seeks final injunctive or declaratory relief that is appropriate to the class as a whole. Gallagher and Heibel clearly seek final declaratory and injunctive relief, orders enjoining Just for Veterans and Justo from continuing these practices and declaring that the contracts with class members are illegal and unenforceable. The relief is appropriate to the class as a whole because it is indivisible and would require only a single injunction or declaratory judgment, that would then provide relief to each class member. All right. Nothing. This is our legalese stuff. Here is more legalese stuff. Lots of legalese. All right. In addition, a class action is superior to other available methods for the fair and efficient adjudication of the controversy. The court has considered the relatively modest size of the individual claims as well as the volume of the claims in the aggregate. Given that modest size and the absence of any other pending claims, there seems to be little interest in individual class members in controlling the prosecution of separate claims. To the court's knowledge, this is the only action that is currently pending, and as Just for Veterans is based in Rockville, that's Maryland, very close to me actually, it is desirable to concentrate litigation of these claims in this forum. And given the nature of the dispute and the dominance of common issues over any individual ones, the management of this class action should not present any undue difficulties. There are no individualized and exceedingly complex factual or legal programs that would create challenges beyond those present in any class litigation. Legalese. Dates whereof it is this 13th day of February, ordered class action. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. And this is John D. Pelz here. He makes the announcement. You can look him up on LinkedIn. He's an attorney out of Maryland, I believe. And then here's that same case number. All right. And then, outside of that, on May 22nd, 2026, the parties to the action filed a motion for preliminary approval of class action settlement agreement. So yeah, it's on, I think. Anyways, made it to the end. Peace.